The life of John Marsden. On September 27, 1950, an author was born. John Marsden was born in the small, quiet town in Melbourne, Australia. Like most kids his age, his main interests were playing marbles, riding bikes, and reading comics. Because his town was so rural and low-key, Marsden didn't watch TV or have any type of fancy electronic. Instead of focusing all of his attention on technology, he grew a genuine interest in reading and exploring the extravagant world of literature. His teachers would even ask him to recite books aloud to the class by memory. When Marsden entered the 3rd grade, his teachers believed in corporal punishment. She would beat them for any small inconvenience. This left all of the poor students still traumatized to this day. By the age of 10, Marsden and his family moved to Sydney. It was a weird new place, so there had to be a big adjustment from him and his brothers. However, Marsden wasn't very good at following the rules at his new school. He'd spend a lot of time in detention and read in order to pass the time. Once he entered high school, his parents placed him in a prestigious military school that made him feel bored out of his mind. Around the same time that he was there, the Beatles were at their peak. He could only dream of their amazing music. After he graduated, he went to Sydney University, where he studied arts and law. College for Marsden was difficult and confusing. He didn't like the topics he chose to study or any job that they chose to try out. He felt overwhelmed and eventually dropped out. He entered a dark time in his life at this point, which made him isolate himself from everybody close to him. He was admitted into a psychiatric hospital where he discovered himself in numerous ways. He said, and I quote, "It was actually very, very helpful and very constructive and very useful. Because I started learning about feelings and relationships and communication and the way the world really worked. It offered a support base which enabled him to begin building a new life." He not only became a wiser person out of this negative experience, but also met the inspiration for his first book. At this institution, the author met a young girl who was selectively mute. She had been through traumatic events in her life which caused her to be mentally and physically scarred for life. When John left the hospital, he continued drifting from job to job, not finding anything that he truly enjoyed, until he found an interest in teaching English. Along with building a nice career for himself, Marsden also became more serious about his writing. He ultimately decided to write books that spoke to teenagers and related to the events in their lives. The first book he ever published was written within 3 weeks. This book was so much to tell you. It is about Marina, the girl who was in the hospital who decided not to speak to anybody. As of now, John Marsden is most known for Tomorrow When the World Began, which is a series about a teenager named Ellie Linton and her friend who struggle to survive in a new and dangerous world. Marsden is still alive today and happy and living a healthy life at the age of 66. He also returned one of the emails that I sent him asking him about traumatic events in his life, and I was so happy about this. But yeah. So, thanks for watching.